Well, let me apologise for the shit show we had last week where I only uploaded twice. That's not the consistent Proudy that we all know and love today. But thankfully, we are back to normal this week. We are back to 5 uploads. I cannot wait because the chances of me going insane are rising very quickly. Do I regret taking Huddersfield back into the Premier League? Yes. Every fucking day. In the last episode, we took on Leicester City away from home and managed to secure a 1-1 draw in the 92nd minute as John McGinn fired in after coming off the bench. It's not been too bad. Actually, no, it's been shit. Why am I saying it's not been too bad? Like, the results after this have been utterly dire. I mean, you could try and polish a turd, but you really cannot polish this Huddersfield side. So, after the last game against Leicester City, we have played 5 matches in between. And starting off, we played West Ham United at home. And in the 85th minute, Steve Mounier managed to equalise from close range to give us a 1-1 draw. We followed that with a defeat against Liverpool and then went to Goodison Park. And after taking an early lead, Idrissa Gana Gueye led Everton to a 3-1 win with a brace. And then we followed that with a defeat against Chelsea and conceding this long-range strike against Charlie Masonda against Cardiff meant we lost 1-0, which means we've lost 4 in a row so far. It's also seen us plummet down the table and we are now currently 15th. We're not really in danger of relegation or in a battle just yet, but if we do lose to Newcastle and Wolves in this episode, then we're going to be in deep shit, like genuinely deep shit. So Trezeguet has arrived back at Huddersfield after we gave him a month off and he says that his homesickness is now gone. The media have also said that he stood out at times this season because he's got 3 shots on target and has dribbled the ball twice so far in 3 games. And yet the critics say that I cannot make a good signing. I really feel I should be managing the under-23s because at least they can win games pretty resoundingly. And also the fact that I am giving all my first team players to the under-23s, so then we're battering all the teams that we play. Maximilian Philip got 5 goals in this match, and that was probably just before half time. So following the 1-1 draw that we had against West Ham United, I went to check the social media and Lauren said that was nowhere near good enough, which I agreed with, but Stuart Barfoot said that was one of the top 5 performances this season. And looking at the results this season, I'm not surprised he said that. Although I don't know how he could forget about the 0-0 draw we got away at Wolves in the Carabao Cup and then proceeded to get knocked out in a penalty shootout once again. I mean, that game is as memorable as they come. Just another screenshot of the under-23s once again winning 6-0. Neil Maupay this time got 4 goals. I mean, on the basis of this performance, he really should be in the French squad. I mean, Hastings United are probably just around the same level as Luxembourg, Liechtenstein and Scotland. But even though the under-23s are battering every team in their way, the under-18s are getting battered by every team in their way. I mean, they've just lost 6-1 now to Crewe. I mean, this is meant to be the next generation of Huddersfield players. Obviously, Huddersfield isn't the footballing hotbed that I've known it to become. So this week, BBC Radio Leeds did a poll and asked the Huddersfield fans whether Matthias Jorgensen should be in the first team because he's now my 4th choice centre-back and he should really be playing apparently. And the 3 answers I got were from all women and they were as indecisive as they could be. You know what, maybe they should stick to what they know, like bullying me on the internet and telling me that all men are trash. Although saying that, if they were all Ben Gibsons, then yes, they would be. So following our defeat against Cardiff, it had meant that we had not won it in about 7 games. And Tyrone tweeted, Team 1 till I die. You know, I've always been a big supporter of Team 1, like when they drew Man United once and beat Man United once. And, I mean, something else to do with Man United. I've also got some great news before our game against Newcastle as my first choice goalkeeper Matthias Perrin has got himself injured with a pulled groin, which puts him out of the game that we're playing against Newcastle. I know they just want to extend this winless streak we're on. Now, I had a quick look at the stats this season for the players in the league. I've seen that Wilfried Zaha has the highest percentage of shots on target, yet he's got 1 goal this season. And then when I went to look at shots on target this year, Steve Mounier has the most in the league and has only got 7 goals. I mean, how are we not top of the league? Seriously? Actually, I could probably think of a lot of reasons, including me as manager, the finances of the club, the fact that it's Huddersfield Town, the fact that the fans expect too much of us, the Champions League is out of our reach, we just can't win any games, like we keep losing to teams like Cardiff. You know, there's a lot of reasons really. I really should be doing the press conferences before the game because Paul Clement came out and said that he fears another Newcastle defeat. I mean, imagine him on a night out when you're trying to pull. He'd be the worst wingman in the world. He probably tells them that the only 6-inch they'll be seeing is when I take them to Subway on a date. And if anyone was interested in the current financial situation, it's got no better. We do now move into our first game of the episode against Newcastle United, and with our bad run of form, it means that I have now changed the system, so we've gone with a 5 at the back formation. David Raya replaces the injured Matthias Perrin in goal. Cody, Ayer and Cher will play as our 3 centre-backs, with Reguilon and Wan-Bissaka playing as the wing-backs. Marcus Llorente, John McGinn and Oxlade-Chamberlain are paired up together to play in the midfield three. And finally, Steve Mounier, who is our top goal scorer this year, partners Neil Maupay up front. Now, I look at this Newcastle team and I think to myself, they are playing a formation which is one of the best in Football Manager this year, but they have got a team which isn't that good. I mean, they were leading the league after 6 games. How on earth were they doing that? They got Fabio Borini at left mid, Kolasinac at left back, Liam Moore is playing centre back for them, and Luciano Vietto is up front. I mean, if it's possible for them, it's possible for anyone, except us, obviously, because we only hit 5th and then we collapse down the league every year. I can also imagine this game isn't really for the neutrals. This has been played on a Monday night on whatever TV channel has got the rights now. It could be KFC TV, Lucasade TV. There's not really many more TV stations I can think of on the top of my head. I'm also not looking at the products which are currently on my desk as well. Although if they do want to sponsor me. 7 minutes were on the clock as Ruben Perez played the ball to Anthony Konoke and then he hit a shot which went straight at David Raya. I mean, just warming up the hands for Raya. And then Sergio Reguilon had a free kick on the right hand side and put a great ball into the box with John McGinn to head us into the lead after 21 minutes. Scored in the last episode, scored in this episode, Mr. Consistent. John McGinn. I mean, I can't really think of many nicknames for him. If anyone can think of a nickname for McGinniesta, then you're more than welcome to. Anthony Konoke then had a free kick on the edge of the box, which he just fired over. And we went into half-time leading 1-0, which means we're on course for our first win in 6 games. Yeah, nothing really happened in the second half, so we won 1-0. What a result for the boys in blue and white. Although it's not right I should end in a shithouse 1-0 win against Newcastle United. So we're going to play the game against Wolves as well. So that win over Newcastle is our first win in over 6 matches. Great. Finally, we got 1 on the board. But the media also said that the recent poor form has left memories of our championship title win very much buried in the past. And they're worried that I will never be able to repeat such a feat. I mean, I won't, because if I get relegated, then I definitely would not be managing this club anymore. So it's very doubtful I'm going to be taking this team back to another championship title win. The media really are shithouses, aren't they? Caldalo has also said he's becoming increasingly frustrated with me because his lack of appearances for the club means he will never play for Wales. I mean, if you think about it, I'm doing him a massive favour. And it has finally happened, boys. Scotland have finally called up Oliver Burke. I cannot believe it. After all the shit I've had to go through this season with all the financial problems we're having, the fact that my players won't play to my tactics, the fact we're losing pretty much every week, we're nearly bottom of the league again, that is probably the best thing that's happened to me. And now we move into our game against Wolves. Now, I've kept you with the same side, so I don't really have to show you the team sheet. But Wolves are setting up in a 4-3-3. A more difficult side. A much better side than Newcastle. We might struggle in this match. That's the confidence right out the window for my side now. It was only 10 minutes as Wolves got the first chance of the game as Muriel laid it off to Johnny, but he fired his shot wide. I mean, warning shots from long range. Like, we can't defend in our box and we can barely score in their box. So as long as we make them shoot for long range, we should get a 0-0 draw out of this. But then again, saying that, Jack Clark ran down the right wing, put the ball into the box, and Diego Jota at the back post fired it into the back of the net. Yeah, as I said, if we just restricted them to long-range strikes, we could have a chance here, and we didn't, and now we're behind. It's almost like I know my team too well, although I should because I have been managing them for 4 seasons. Luis Muriel then stole the ball off Christopher Ayer and then ran for a goal, but fired his shot straight at Rayer and then couldn't put the rebound in. This isn't going to go well. Like, it's not going well at all. At half-time, I told the boys that they really need to buck up their ideas, pull their finger out. We need to start winning games in order to go straight back up the table because I'm not getting in a relegation battle. And after 70 minutes, we sent on Hal Robson-Kanu for Steve Mounier, and then 7 minutes later, Diego Jota made it 2-0. Game over. But saying that, with only 5 minutes left, Sergio Reguilon started running at the Wolves' defence and played the ball forward for Hal Robson-Kanu, who did some good hold-up play, laid it off for Neil Maupay to fire it into the back of the net. 2-1, we're back in the game. And the game is over and we've lost. Okay, not the way I wanted to end the episode, but it is what it is. You know, things like this happen. Who's our next game against? Arsenal away? Oh, for fuck's sake.